Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I have with you all here this strange thing, this Foolish Ones storyline document here, because today we're going to be going over the conclusion of the Foolish One arc. Now, if you guys are not caught up on this little storyline, this little mystery and everything like that, this dates back a very, very long time ago with a character called Fuma. It was a 37Z mystery thing. That mystery concluded and continued on with a comet mystery, and then that comet mystery concluded and has now continued on to this Foolish Ones storyline. It just seems to keep going. So this is the conclusion to the whole thing, to everything so far. So today I want to go through this document a little bit, and as well as just go ahead and just put up on screen video footage, muted video footage, by the way, the final little encounter and stuff like that we had with the 37Z mystery, the Foolish One arc, all that stuff. So, starting off, the mystery began a while back. I'm not going to do a full, proper recap of everything, by the way, but essentially this final encounter here took place a few days ago, and Pumpulse was there. Obviously, if you guys are caught up with everything, if you're not caught up with everything, by the way, you can click that card in the top right corner or wait till the end screen card, because it'll have a playlist there and everything like that. But if you're not caught up, Pumpulse is a character that was in the previous storylines, and at the end of the last storyline, they actually became a Wise One. Well, Pumpulse in Wise One form was sitting in front of the caves. And of course, you know, we decided to deal with that and interact with that and everything like that. And what ended up happening was they told us that our party was too small. They said that we didn't have a big enough party to conclude this story. They said that this is the final encounter, this is the final arc, whatever you want to call it. I don't exactly remember exactly what they said, but they said this is the final thing. Are you sure you want to continue with this party once we did finally have enough people? So me and a bunch of other people that have been interacting with the quest and stuff like that so far have come on in, and we all got invited to the party with Pumpulse. Pumpulse explained to us that this is it. This is like the big deal here. If you want to escape Marin's dimension, if you want to save everyone here, you're gonna have to do what I say. You need to find Anu. You need to have Anu confront Marin, and you have to delete some pumpkins. You have to destroy some pumpkins on her island, in her office, as they called it. Because destroying those will allow a gateway to open, and Marin will obviously be defeated because you can go through the gateway and escape her dimension. So that's essentially what the plan was. That's what she told us to do. So of course we went to Anu, we convinced him to confront Marin, and then we got a bunch of dialogue. We didn't really get much in terms of like interacting and like actually doing stuff. Only one of us got to delete pumpkins, so there was that. But essentially, we learned a lot. We learned what the deal was with Marin. We learned that she was never normal, that since birth, chaos seemed attracted to her, and that she was living alone with her mother or something like that. And eventually, something happened where she was older, and a comet had passed by the planet. Now, this comet was the same comet that we dealt with in the previous arc, the previous storyline, the one with the comet and everything like that. Apparently, when we stopped the comet, we didn't stop it properly, or we didn't stop it in time. As it says in this document, it says in quotations and in highlights, it says, this all happened because the comet we stopped, we didn't stop fast enough. The chaos it spread found its way into Marin, which gave her unimaginable chaotic power. She eventually used it to bring Fuller back, then had to quickly trap him. So essentially, what this is telling us is that she got this chaotic power because of the comet from the previous storyline. We didn't stop it fast enough. We didn't stop it properly, so she got powers from the comet. And she decided that she was going to bring Fuller back into this dimension and trap him there and everything like that. Now, what this means, this entire dimension was just her doing this so that she could be friends with Fuller again. Now, Fuller is it was a little bit unclear up till this point, but we finally found out what the deal was with Fuller. Now, Fuller is the Dark One, as they were called. Fuller was a character that was really good friends with Marin, and then stuff started changing, and eventually he was like full-on evil. He tried to destroy Nigaria. He tried to make the floating islands sink to the ground, or fall to the ground, however you want to say that. And eventually he was dubbed the Dark One and was considered evil, and he killed hundreds of Wise Ones and was eventually defeated. And so Marin was obviously distraught over this. fast forward to the comet thing happening. She gets her powers from the comet, and she's like, oh, well, I can do things now. And she said this, and she showed us on the island. She showed us that when she originally got these powers, it was a little bit hard to control, and she actually froze her entire hometown, killing everyone there, freezing them completely solid, things like that. So she was kind of going along a little bit of an evil rampage there for a moment as well. So the wise one stepped in, trapped her, but by this time she was already trapping people on her own personal dimension because her power had no range and it had no limits. So she was grabbing random people, plucking them from random places in the world, stuffing them in her dimension so that she said that she was doing it for ransom, so that she could hold the wise ones at ransom. Be like, hey, I got all these people trapped. Are you going to let me go? Or are you going to let me do what I want to do? Because if you don't, these people are going to be here. They're going to be stuck in this dimension forever. You know, you got to do something. And she ended up realizing that she could bring Fuller back through this dimension, so she did so, and was living pretty happily with Fuller. She was able to be friends with Fuller again, but it wasn't quite real because he was more of a memory in this dimension than physically real. So what ends up happening is she brings more people in. She brings people in and gives them jobs and stuff like that so that they can be none the wiser that they're in some kind of alternate dimension or anything like that. And eventually that's how Anu came into the picture. He was down on his luck, so to speak, desperate for a job, and Marin supplied one. Marin said, hey, you can be a guard. And as years passed, he found out the hard way that there are ponies that want something inside desperately. Now, these ponies, I imagine, were the wise ones and the bandits and stuff like that, coming into the caves and coming into the dimension trying to find stuff. And eventually he was scarred by a strange creature and lost his eye and the ability to walk. He actually lost his legs. That's what this picture here is. This picture here was us seeing for the first time, like, hey, this is what happened to him. He was guarding and he got hurt somehow. He lost his legs. He got injured severely in different places and stuff like that. Well, Marin, being Marin, decided to seal the scars with gold and gave him the ability to walk again. She healed him completely and gave him eternal depth to this cause, to this dimension, to her specifically, just as she wanted, mysteriously, as it says in the document here. But essentially that's what happened. That's how Anu got messed up into this stuff. That's how Marin got mixed up into this stuff. That's how the Dark One, or Fuller, however you want to say, got stuck in it and everything like that. And essentially that's what happened. We learned all of this stuff, and we were able to delete all of the pumpkins and stuff like that. Marin eventually kind of calmed down and was like, just leave, just go through the thing, because I know what you're doing, just go. And Anu didn't want to leave without her. A lot of us also didn't want to leave without her. And she just said, like, just leave. I'll be right behind you. I promise. I just got to say goodbye to Fuller. So that was enough to convince us. So we went through the portal. The portal was just the house, by the way, so it wasn't anything super special. So we went into the house, all of us, including Anu, and then later Pumpulse showed up and was like, hey, look, you did good. You're going to be going through the real world soon. Basically, you're going to be in roughly the same spot you were in when Marin originally trapped you. So everything's going to be normal soon. Anu is going to be in the tower with Marin instead of where he was originally because of the whole situation that happened there. Essentially, Anu was like, look, even we can be friends. Anu wanted to be friends with Marin, so he was like, look, when we get to the real world, we can be friends. You don't have to be alone, essentially is what he was saying. So when they got back to the real world, they ended up being buddies in the tower and everything like that. So the tower being where Marin was trapped, of course. And that was pretty much it. Nothing else really happened. But if we go back to this document here, you can see that there is a lot of more information in here. There is some stuff about Marin and stuff like that, a little bit more of her backstory and information, stuff like that. Now, I'm not sure what to take as canon. I don't know if the document has canon over the encounters that we had, because obviously some of the things Marin said might be slightly different than this document here. Same thing with her information and story about the Dark One, Fuller, who, as it turns out, is 9728, which was the wise one who obviously killed a bunch of other wise ones and stuff. But we got a lot of information about the Dark One, Fuller, 9728. He lived a simple life, and he met a snake and unlocked his power to control them and summon them. And he eventually became evil. He got invited to Yindu Tower, beating it, getting into Nigaria. He slowly discovered his, new magic, found a way to solving many mysteries and orchestrating scenarios to end in good instead of evil. His feats were gathered to the wise ones, who collectively agreed he was ready to become one. They basically were like, look, you're doing really good, man. You're like a really powerful wizard, and you're like really freaking smart. You're going to be a wise one. So they made him a wise one, and they assigned him to watch over an interesting anomaly. And an abnormal imbalance of luck suggested that a powerful force of magic was being abused by someone. This was how Fuller actually met Marin in this investigation, and slowly ended up befriending her. As time went on, Fuller learned more secrets of the Wise Ones and their lack of interest in helping the non-magical. It turned him colder and colder until he used Marin to betray Nigaria, being the first one and only one to ever kill several Wise Ones, destroy some of the floating islands, and send them into the ocean. If he was not stopped in time, his power would have been enough to end all of Nigaria and send the world into darkness. Marin learned of Nigaria from Wise 19728, Fuller, things like that. They took pity on her terrible luck and gave her something to believe in. And of course, they bonded as good friends. 9728 slowly remained away from Nigaria for longer and longer times. With each incident that occurred in Nigaria, 9728 started to resent Nigaria and hate everyone there. His magic had changed. He became darker the more his heart grew cold. And of course, he eventually revoked his title as the Wise One and became the Dark One. He promised to bring Marin to Nigaria, and unbeknownst to her, it was part of a plan to make the islands of Nigaria crash into the ocean and be destroyed forever. And he actually succeeded in doing some of that. Now, obviously, he didn't get all of Nigaria, but he got a fair bit of it. So that is essentially what his story was and everything like that. And if we move on more, we get to see this little thing that's talking about the phase 1 and stuff like that. It basically explains what the plan was, that it was going to tease the cave adventure and then start hiring people and then all that stuff. You already know about this if you've been caught up with everything. But overall, it also lists off some different quests, and I guess I don't know if this was in order or not, but it lists off different quests and stuff like that, and everything, and it eventually goes with this conclusion of how it ended up concluding, which I've already explained. So that pretty much does it for the video. There's not really much else to really say about this whole storyline or anything like that. I do hope that you enjoyed the mystery so far, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one, because, well, I don't know if there's going to be a next one, but if there is a next one, I would sure as heck love to see you guys there. And again, one more time, there's going to be a playlist at the end of this video, so if you guys want to see the whole story from the very, very, very beginning with the 37Z mystery all the way up to this point, you can do that. But for now, I'm going to conclude the video there. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do those wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.